Hello and welcome to another technical how-to video brought to you by Zencos. In this how-to video, we'll show you how to test for zombie sessions. Zombie sessions are open jobs or ongoing processes on the compute server that can be created when jobs are incorrectly shut down or interrupted. These sessions tie up resources like memory and file handles and compromise the system's performance. So here's the scenario. Today we will be demonstrating a multi-tier SAS 9.3 BI environment running on Linux. In our demonstration, a user named Brian Lindemann has been disconnected from his Enterprise Guide session. Our user Brian wants to check if the dropped connection created a zombie process on the compute server. So we are going to walk through the commands to quickly detect a zombie session, and then show you how to check and confirm that the session was successfully closed. First, let's connect into our environment. And what we like to do in environments that we manage is to set up aliases to make it easier for us to get around. So in this case, we know that the environment is running as a lev2, and so there's an alias called golev2. So let's go ahead and cd into that directory, and now whenever we look at a server and haven't been on it in more than 24 hours, it's always a good idea to confirm that the services are actually running. Just as a matter of course, we can use the provided sas.servers command with a status parameter. As you can see, all three services on this server, the object spawner, the connect spawner, and the framework data server, are up and running. So after that basic test, let's go ahead and look for zombie sessions. Normally on a Unix server we could look for the user's ID and grep for that. However, in this case, because it is using authentication through Active Directory, we need to check the logs of the object spawner. So first let's look at the object spawner process and see where those logs are. From the object spawner process, we know that it actually lives under the lev2 object spawner 3 big jobs subdirectory. So we can cd into that directory, and standard SAS data directory structures would indicate that there is a logs directory underneath that. So now that we're in the logs directory, we're going to look for logs associated with the current session. So we're going to grep for that process ID 1999. As you can see, this gives us a list of daily logs that have been recorded for the currently active object spawner, and we are going to check them for Brian Lindemann's ID. Very often it'll happen that logs are restarted over the weekend, so it's entirely possible that, especially given the small log size, there may not be any active sessions for Brian in the first day's log. So let's check the first 2 days. We're going to grep for Brian Lindemann's user ID in the object spawner log for May 4th and May 5th. And in fact, Brian did log in on May 5th. So rather than looking at this rather long list, we can pare it down by only grepping for lines with the word process. But what you'll note is that process occurs in lowercase when a process is started, and in uppercase when a process is ended. So if we count the number of entries, and we use a word count to do this, if we count the number of entries with the process without the P, we'll see that there are 8 entries in the log, which means that there were 8 events for starting and stopping processes, and we can confirm that they are in fact 4 starts and 4 stops by checking for the uppercase and lowercase variants of that. So there were 4 uppercase meaning stops, and 4 lowercase, meaning starts. So similarly, we're going to look at the rest of the logs. From May for this process ID. And when we do that, we see that there were 36 start and stop events, and we would expect to have 18 starts or lowercase p's and 18 uppercase p's, and so that is exactly what we find. In this way, we were able to confirm that there is not a zombie session running for Brian Lindemann. If there had been, we would see in the line, let's just go ahead and look at the last of these. There would be a line that would be unmatched. In other words, there would be a start line without a stop. So let's actually look for a start with lowercase p. A line such as this without a matching stop. And on this line we see the process ID, so we would be able to then do a PSEF and grep for that process ID. Since this connection was successfully closed and it was logged as stopped, we do not expect to find anything for process ID 2170. And in fact, there is no such thing. So as you see, we were able to confirm that Brian's session was successfully closed out even though it was interrupted. And there are no zombie processes running on the server for Brian. If you would like to learn more about how to keep your system performance operating at peak efficiency, please contact us at sales@zencos.com. Thank you very much. Have a good day.